Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and today I'll get to sit on my butt and review a chair. Keep watching to find out more. Okay, so in today's video we'll be taking a look and reviewing a chair, actually a really nice chair from those nice people over at MFavour, which I will be putting some affiliated links in the video description. Now obviously they have sent me this chair free of charge for review purposes, but they've not asked me to say anything, they've not asked me to specifically mention any particular points of the chair, they've just said try it, see what you think, and if you like it, let us know. So, MFavour, this is my love letter to you. Okay, so first of all, this is essentially it's kind of like an office chair, I would say. So for those of you that at the moment are caught up in the whole human malware thing, which is pretty much a large percentage of the people on the planet at the moment, then you're probably finding yourselves doing more and more work from home, or maybe doing Zoom calls, Skype, all those kinds of things. And essentially, you're sat in front of a computer for extended periods. And generally, it's not always the most comfortable thing to do. Probably, if you're like a lot of people out there, maybe you just grab a chair from the dining room or from the kitchen or stool or whatever the case may be, and you spend ages just sat there, uncomfortable, doing your work, getting on with your day, and hoping and praying that someday soon you'll be able to get back into your office and sit at your office desk in your office chair and be nice and comfy. Well, you don't really have to do that. You can buy a chair for yourself, for home, and actually in a lot of cases you can actually use it as a tax deductible against your income for the year and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, if you want to find out more about that, there are links to the websites, etc. We'll try and put some links up here so you can check those out for yourself. So maybe the chair may not actually cost you anything at all, and you can claim it as an offset against your tax, which is awesome. So anyway, let's get back into the chair. So this is essentially a mesh type chair, and as you can see from some of the B-roll and actually from physically looking at the chair, it's got a really nice modern design to it. It's got a really tough kind of plastic resin frame. It's relatively lightweight as well, so if you do need to move it from room to room, so maybe you're working maybe in a living room or your bedroom and you don't always want it there, you're worried about a chair being extremely heavy, this one's actually pretty lightweight, which is awesome. The padding on it as well is really nice and thick. You've got an 8cm base, which is really comfortable. And my backside can't even feel the core of the chair. It's literally really nicely padded, super comfy, which is essentially what we all want. The most of your weight is actually positioned at the bottom of your spine and your pelvis and in your backside, so that is where you want the most support. But more importantly is the support for your back itself. And this has got a really cool lumbar support, which actually works a lot better than some of the gaming chairs I've reviewed recently. They certainly do have their pros and cons, as do all things. But for me, this chair is actually working out really well. The actual lumbar support stays in position because it's a fixed unit, although it is fully adjustable with a turn screw on the back. So if you're one of those people that sits up rather straight and you need a little bit more support on the back, then you can certainly adjust it in and it'll push in and give you that little extra support that you need. Or if you're someone who kind of sits quite kind of slouchy, then you can reduce it all the way out and essentially you don't feel it's there at all. So it's really flexible. Also as well, if you don't like the seating position of maybe your dining room chair or whatever, this is really nice. It's got a very nice kind of, almost like feels like it's pushing you forward slightly. So in the 90-degree position, you actually feel like you're tilting forward slightly. So for those of you that are typists and you kind of like that position where you're positioned slightly more forward, excellent. But if you want to, there is adjustment on it. So you can just lift up the bar on the back and this completely allows the chair to recline to a natural position. So you can sway back. There's about 120 degrees, so it goes from 90 degrees upright to around about 120. So it's not one of those chairs that folds right back, so you can kind of go to sleep into it, which actually I prefer. I prefer a chair where you've got a limited amount of motion there, because you don't really want to go all the way back. But if you're watching a movie or something, so in between work, you can just kick back a little bit, relax slightly. Or if you're gaming, it's a really nice position for gaming. I've tried this for numerous hours on Cyberpunk 2077 and spent way too long playing that. And I've been extremely comfortable whilst doing it. Because it's a mesh back chair and also the base cushion itself is a really nice actual sponge, and it kind of doesn't trap the heat like you do find with some of these other seats, especially ones which have got either synthetic or real leather. Leather generally, although it's premium, it generally does tend to get a little bit hot and a little bit sweaty after prolonged periods. Whereas with this mesh base and also the kind of really nice sponge, it just lets the heat out, and also it feels warm when you sit down, but it feels cool at the same time, so you don't get overheated. And for those of you that are regulars to the channel know that every Saturday we do a 2-hour live stream, and I can sit here in this chair for 2 hours quite happily, and when I get up at the end of it, I don't find my kind of backside feeling a little sweaty, my legs feeling sweaty and all that kind of stuff. And actually I managed to sit in the chair for 2 hours without any problems at all, and it's actually very comfortable. I don't get up at the end of it and I'm like, oh God, my back it's really, really comfortable. So other items of the chair, starting from the bottom. So working from the bottom, you've got this really nice solid construction for the feet base, and it's really easy to put together. That is one of the things which I actually really enjoyed about this. Really easy to put together. You don't need a rocket science degree to put it together. It all comes really nicely packaged as well, so it's all protected in packaging, so you're not likely to get any damages, etc. And it was all bubble wrapped and all that kind of stuff, which is absolutely excellent. You do get a really nice fitting kit with everything clearly written up on it. So there's a certain screw for the back, there's a certain screw for the headrest, etc. And it's all extremely clearly labelled. You don't need any additional screwdrivers or any fitting kit or anything. It's all included in the box. So you can literally get it delivered and set it up within probably about 15 minutes or so. The wheels themselves are low noise wheels, so you can cast them around and they don't make a great deal of noise. They do on the site say they're silent wheels, but again, it's going to depend on what floor you're on. If you're on a vinyl floor, then I guess they would be pretty silent, but on our floor, which is a laminate type floor, you can hear the wheels moving. It's not overly horrible. The wheels are pretty decent, and the swivel function and all that kind of works absolutely fine. So if you're in a slightly larger area and you want to scoot from one desk to another without actually standing up, you can push yourself around on the chair and the wheels move quite nicely. The base itself, the actual caster section, is coated in like a chrome finish, which is really nice, and the actual spring or the compression unit, which actually raises the seat up and down by about 10 centimeters, is all finished in chrome as well, so it all looks really nice and premium. The gas adjustment as well is done from a side unit, as you would expect on most chairs, so you just lift it up and you can adjust it height and low. I'm going to keep it at this height because this is perfect for my IKEA desk, but you can raise it and lower it by about 10 centimeters. I'll put some full dimensions actually in the video description, and also in a little bit we'll see some of MFavour's own video actually on the chair, so you can see all the dimensions and you can pause it to see if it's going to fit in your table or in your desk space. So moving up to the actual seat pad itself and the adjustment mechanism, all of that went together super simply. Literally 4 bolts went in, Allen keys provided, so really nice and easy to do and really sturdy once it's all constructed. You've got 2 controls, like I said, so on one side you've got the reclining section, which is lockable, so you can lock that into position. On the other side you've got the raiser and lower. That is pretty much it, that is all you need. Everything else is pretty much manual, so headrest wise you can adjust that manually. Armrests, you've got 4D armrests, so you can move those around, up and down, left and right, forward and back, all that kind of usual stuff that you'd expect. So that can be very comfortable. Again, if you're typing, you can use those to rest your arms on so you don't put so much strain on your wrists. Or if you're gaming, you can raise it up a little bit more if you've got a gamepad, that kind of thing. And it just feels really comfortable and actually really natural. So moving up from the base section and all that kind of adjustment stuff to the actual back. So like I said, with the back, you've got the adjustable lumbar support on the back. So you just twist that and you can adjust it to get it exactly right for your position and for your spine. Also as well, this is the really nice mesh, which is completely breathable and actually relatively easy to keep clean. Now we've got cats in the house, as some of you may already know, and for some reason the white cat is molting terribly at the moment, so every day I do need to give this a little bit of a vacuum off. That is one downside of a chair like this with the mesh type. It does pick up dust and obviously fur, that kind of stuff from animals, so if that's something which bothers you, then perhaps look at one of the other chairs in the range. They do other chairs as well. We've got PU leather or real leather chairs. There's tons to choose from, but if you like a mesh, then this is fine. Just beware that it will attract hairs and that kind of stuff. So yeah, keep your vacuum handy. So we've discussed the actual seat cushion itself. So it's a 8 centimeter deep, thick cushion, which is really nice. And again, coated in the same kind of fabric as the back, so it all matches up nicely. One thing you actually have got is on the side here, we've got a little MFavour logo as well, which is put on the side, which I quite like. It's one of those little designer touches which just lifts the design overall. And actually going back to the design, it is a really modern design. I really like the kind of the frame, the like skeleton of the chair. It just looks really nice, and I wish I could actually have a load of them actually around here if I had the room. I think it would really look nice. So armrest wise, again, fully adjustable, so you've got forward and backwards, you've got twist in and out, and you've got up and down. You can move them outward as well if you want to, or inward, but that is done on the bolts on the bottom. So when you're actually assembling it, I deliberately put them in so they're closer together, but you can widen them out by about 5 centimeters or so. So there is a little bit of adjustment either way, but that will have to be done at the time of construction. The arms themselves are actually really nice, and it's a nice supple kind of padding on the top there, and I've actually had the cats scratching at it. I've watched them do it, and I let them do it to actually see if it would cause any damage, but actually they seem to have weathered quite well. Although they're very supple, they do actually seem to be very strong as well, so they should last the test of time. The arms themselves are actually primarily plastic on the top section, and the bottom has got that chrome element to match with the bottom and the base, which again ties into that design. Moving up to one of my favourite parts, and actually this is the headrest. The headrest to me, actually, I think it looks absolutely amazing. It's got that really nice kind of space-aged kind of curve to it, and there's a little bit of flex in it as well, so it's not one of those things where you kind of move back and it just kind of hits you in the back of the head. It just cushions your head, and you can adjust it however you want, so slightly upwards, slightly downwards, and it is movable as well, so you can slot it up and down, and that just attaches to the back of the chair really simply with just 2 screws. Again, a lot of the construction is really easy. I was going to do a complete video of how to assemble it, but realistically it was so easy there was hardly any point doing it. But I have got some B-roll and some other shots of basically the unpacking and all that kind of stuff, so you can take a look at all the individual components as they come out of the box. So as we're coming towards the end of the video, we should discuss price. Now, price is always one of those things which for a lot of people is actually the defining characteristic of a chair or any purchase. And this at the moment on amazon.co.uk retails for around about £155, which actually for me, I think is actually a pretty reasonable price. You do see chairs of a similar category all over the place for in and around the same money or considerably more. I've seen the odd one or two slightly less, but they do lack some of the features and actually don't look quite as nice. Maybe they've got fixed arms or whatever the case may be. So if you are looking for a chair around about the £150 mark that is going to be supportive, comfortable, and hopefully give you some longevity and potentially get a tax rebate, because effectively it is an office chair, so you could claim it possibly. Again, you may need to look that up on your own tax returns, all that kind of stuff. But certainly, I think it's definitely worth a look. For £155 or thereabouts, I think it's actually very good value for money. It seems to be exceptionally strong. The base, the casters, all that stuff is really nicely made out of metal, so you don't have to worry about plastic fracturing, all that kind of stuff. And the bit that actually makes the difference is the comfort factor. Having this mesh, which is slightly pliable, actually molds to your back and to the contours of your body. Now I should actually mention that there is a weight limit on this chair of 150 kgs, so obviously do take that into consideration. Some of you guys and girls out there might be slightly larger, you may need to take that into consideration. I think for the vast majority of people working from home, all that kind of stuff, this chair is going to be definitely worth a look. So let me know what you think of it in the comment section below. Is this the sort of thing you would have in your home office, or would you swap this for your favourite gaming chair? Really interested to know what your thoughts would be. Again, there will be affiliated links in the video description below so you can check out for yourself. But in the meantime, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.